Good morning, everyone who is listening to us on YouTube. Today, under the section of expert interviews, we have Dan Folmer, the owner of NorthStar, all the way from United States with us. So Dan, how are you? How are things on your end?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, and thanks for inviting me to do this interview with you. This is great.
It's actually an honor for us to have you on board with us.
Okay,
so Dan, I'll start off just by, the name of your company. I find it's very interesting, NorthStar. Does it have a history behind it?
Yeah, it does have a little bit of a history behind it. I had originally struggled to find a name for my company, and I wanted something that kind of resonated with me, and that was a name that needed to be applicable no matter the location of the company or across different geographic locations and things like that. And the North Star is obviously something that people have been using for a long time for guidance and to find their way and everything like that. So that was really where the name came from.
Indeed, that's exactly what I thought when I heard North Star. It's like the guidance system of the entire world.
Correct. Yeah. Kind of it's a reference to finding your solutions or looking for some sort of a point of reference to get help.
That's great. I mean, I have seen your story on LinkedIn, and I'm sure the readers also would like to know about your journey. So, I mean, how did your journey start from the initial stages, and how did you get up to where you are right now?
For whatever reason, they must have recognized maybe a little bit of potential, or just a young kid who was willing to do different things and try very flexible hours and go back to school. And so I would take off for an hour or two and go take classes and then come back to work. And it wasn't exactly like it wasn't dependent on a time clock or getting things done by the end of the day. The work that I was doing depended on like just getting the job done. It didn't matter what time it got done. So I could be very flexible with my schedule and work in classes and work. And kind of the hard way of doing it, but I think it all worked out okay.
Well, that sounds actually pretty good. I mean, getting a job from a completely different background, and then you entered into it and you really loved it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was really kind of the springboard for where everything else went after that. I was kind of slowly marching my way through school, and I got an associate's degree, and then I decided to keep on going. I was a drafter for a while at this company, and I decided, I don't really want to do drafting. I would rather just keep moving and keep progressing and get into engineering. So that's when I enrolled in a 4-year electromechanical engineering program in Dubuque, Iowa. And I applied at John Deere shortly thereafter. And so I think that the 3 or so years I spent in the window and door factory, combined with an associate's degree, combined with trying to achieve a bachelor's degree, that helped me get in the door there. And then I just kind of kept progressing from there too into the experimental department. And that's where I really got introduced to testing and measurements and strain gauges and load cells and building custom transducers. That was really the formative experience, I would say. It's the hands-on, being an engineer, I think really good engineers should know how to build their own designs. And I was very, very fortunate that I got that hands-on technical training. And I had some fantastic mentors who took me under their wing and showed me I call it the art of building load cells, just that hands-on techniques and tricks and tips and things for how to do that. But then my schooling taught me the science of building load cells and about materials, strength of materials, material science, stresses, strains, electronics, and all that stuff. So really kind of crazy how things worked out, I guess. Everything just kind of fell into place. And I couldn't be happier with the way things have been working out so far.
Wow. So, it's a really long journey for you from the point you started and like from where you right now. What's the most memorable experience during the journey, professionally or personally?
I would say the most memorable experience would be after I formed my company and I deposited that first check from my first project. That was pretty memorable. I really like that. Because that was just sort of like the I don't know, it was the focal point, or it was the culmination of all these years of working and studying and training and getting paid to do it my way. That was great.
Like, since you started off, like, you did not join any major brands, and now your brand is competing against the big brands that are out there in the United States. So what do you focus on, or what do you tackle that helps you increase your market share?
I guess I don't really see myself as competing with the big brands, because that'd be impossible. I can't do that. I'm just as small a company as you can possibly get. I'm just one guy trying to do my own thing. So I'm definitely not competing against these other big companies. I'm more competing against myself, obviously. And that's why, like with this last project, I'm trying to take what I learned from the last time I did it and make new improvements and things like that. So I just let my work speak for itself. And that's basically how I intend to gain more market shares. Do a project, make some posts on it, and get some feedback and get some eyes on those posts, and a little bit of a personal promotion and things like that. And I think that'll snowball. I'll keep getting more and more projects, and the work will take care of that for me.
Well, I hope you get as many projects as you can possibly handle.
Thank you. I need more hours in a day. I'm running out of time here with everything that I've got to do. But that's a good problem.
Are you planning to expand, employ more people and get the company to a bigger scale anytime
I'd like
soon?
to. What I do is a very niche thing, and I'm not so sure that they really teach strain gauging technology. They certainly don't teach transducer building in a lot of schools. I don't believe so. In order to expand and bring on more people, that would be something where I would have to take on a student, and I'd have to teach them what I know how to do, and then turn them loose and maybe take on another one. So it would be a lot of training and teaching, which I'm very willing to do. And it's necessary because, when I got started, somebody did that with me. And so for whatever reason, they felt like it was valuable. I wasn't wasting their time by training me. I'm not sure why they felt that way, but they did. So more than it worked, and I want to pay that forward.
So it's like more than an employee, you need somebody who can be sort of like a disciple, where you can pass on your knowledge to that person, and that's how that person actually gets into the company. Exactly.
Yeah, I would say it took a long time before I finally, I pick up little pieces of the puzzle here and there, and all of a sudden there was just this one this eureka day where it was like, oh yeah, it all just fit. Like it all just kind of made sense as to why I was doing what I was doing, and then once it makes sense to a person like that, you can improvise and be creative, and then you can take those basic concepts and do a little bit different things with them. And that's when you kind of know that you've figured it out. You've got the building blocks, and you're in tune with it.
That's amazing. So what challenges does the company, as a company, NorthStar faces in the weighing industry, and how are you tackling them?
I would say the biggest challenge right now is just time. Like I said before, I wish I could copy and paste myself so that I could get a little bit of help, and and that would free me up. I could take on more projects and things like that. It always boils down to time and money. That's always a big thing too. You can't do projects and run a business without more cash flow coming in, so that you can reinvest that back into the business. I guess the one big challenge right now, which everyone is feeling, is supply chain issues and things like that.
Yes.
So since I'm a small company, I buy things in small volume, which means I'm paying more money anyway. But then those supply chain issues also affect me a little bit disproportionately, a little bit more.
Okay, I understand. So this is a little bit of off topic from the interview, but what's the most exciting thing that you created? Not necessarily from the weighing industry, but something that when you created it, you were like, wow, this is something that it just surprised you when you created it as an engineer.
Oh boy. Well, I really like those triaxial hitch load cells that I've been posting about here lately.
Yes.
They're kind of an engineering challenge, because we need to balance out the strength of the bar with trying to maximize the output. And there's some tweaking, and there's a design envelope that you can work with, but you got to stay within those parameters and within that size and things like that. So so that's really exciting to see how that project, especially recently here, has come together, and just seeing it out in the field, gathering some extremely useful data, because you think it's just a hitch load cell, it's on a cart, and you think, well, it's just kind of a basic cell, but just those 3 data points, the vertical, horizontal, and the pull forces, you can tell a lot about what's going on with the machine just by measuring those 3 things. And especially, over time and different ground conditions, different wheel or track configurations, different weights inside the cart, things like that. So it is really neat to have like a kind of a homemade sensor, sort of like that is such a useful tool for the customer.
That is true.
That's fun. I enjoy that kind of stuff.
So you have a brain of an engineer, I believe, like getting excited about things like that. So a lot of young people are also entering into the industry. Like I think now, more than just the engineering aspect, a lot of people are entering into the industry, be it engineers or be it people who are into PR or marketing for that matter. So what is your advice? Since you have started from the bottom and people, I am sure when they hear this story, they will look up to you. So what is the advice that you would give to, the younger people out there?
I always tell people to find balance. That's kind of a scale joke, sort of find balance, but really you need to be well-rounded. I would say, from my point of view, having hands-on skills and engineering technical skills, that's allowed me to be very flexible. And I would say that I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't have the flexibility and just a well-rounded background. So I would say, definitely don't just focus on desk work, or don't hide behind a computer. Be in the shop floor, learn what people are doing, and experiment on your own. Do it yourself. That was one of the ways that I learned a lot. Was I would take materials home and I would build my own stuff at home just to try it. I do little experiments and I try to figure out, well, why does the Wheatstone bridge do what it does? And all kinds of stuff like that. So you've got to, you definitely got to experiment on your own, and don't be afraid to just try and fail and just learn new things.
That's actually very, very hands-on advice, I'd say. So how do you think the industry has changed in front of your eyes when you look at it?
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a huge focus on technology and digital everything. Everything is digital. Because I really got started before computers were very, modern and weren't nearly as powerful. Couldn't do 3D CAD and things like that. I did a lot of stuff with AutoCAD and 2D CAD early on in the day. I would say, definitely that the technology is just progressing incredibly fast right now. And probably one of the biggest industry changes now, with the world being the way that it is things being onshored and trying to reduce those supply chains. Is another big thing that's changing. When I was starting out, everything was about outsourcing and just-in-time inventory and things like that. But I think some of that is really being questioned again, and maybe companies are starting to reevaluate whether or not that strategy applies all the time.
And that's how you think the industry would be in 5 years? Just focusing on technology and supply chain, or is there something else that you think that might come into the industry, something which is anticipated?
I think those are the major pain points right now, and I think that's what's got the attention of most people, is trying to deal with these supply chain issues and definitely keeping up with the technology of the industry. As far as what's coming out next, it's anyone's guess. Maybe self-driving robot tractors and things like that. I think you're going to see a lot more automation in agriculture. That's kind of what my main focus is, agricultural applications, because that's just been my background. And I grew up on a farm, so I kind of understand things like that. But I would say that you're going to see tremendous amounts of automation and robotics coming into the agricultural industry.
Thank you so much for joining us at weighingnews.com, and we're really honored to have you down with us.
Well, thank you very much again. I appreciate this. It's a lot of fun.